Okay, so this is episode 44 of Salient Points. This was for November 2nd, 2021. I am your commander of ceremonies, as Dalen has deemed me, Carlos Macias.
Whoa.
Thank you for joining us. Dalen Kirkwood from up in the mountains, as per usual. Actually, last week it was not as per usual, Dalen. So I hope you send.
Crawling.
Yeah, so I hope you send a little thank you card to Deo or something, because he filled in last second. You had some fires to put out or whatever.
He was going to go to the gym, Dalen.
Hey, man, he can dance if he wants to. That's
wow. Just wow, Dalen. Anyways, Dalen Kirkwood, thank you for gracing us with your presence once more, sir.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Dale, just in case I don't tell you later.
You didn't plan on telling them later, was what I'm hearing right now.
I had no... You know what?
No, hey, I'll give you a little bit more rope.
It,
I will give you a little more rope if you wish it, sir. And also, Luis Mendez, as per usual, Luis Mendez on the wheels of steel. Thank you for joining us again, sir, on this podcast.
I'm gonna be a little distracted here. I'm watching the Clippers game live right now.
That's reasonable. That's very reasonable. No spoilers, please, because Dalen needs to find out.
I thought we were doing things. What happened?
Hey, anyways, look, the big news. It wasn't too popping this past week, but one of the big things is that Switch Online expansion pack finally dropped, the $50 a year expansion pack to finally Nintendo. They always bilk us for money. This time they went to the furthest extent, so much so that the tier video or whatever it is, the YouTube video that they have announcing this thing is their most disliked video since that 2015 Metroid Prime Federation Force. And I was thinking about it, I was like, was it that bad? And Dalen, I was at your house the other day, and you did put on a compilation of like a bunch of Metroid Prime stuff or Metroid reveals. And I was like, oh, that's right. Metroid Chibi Edition. And it was terrible, but it did have a Rocket League style type of game that I think I did try out. They even did a demo of it, which wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. But anyways, that's the most disliked since that.
Hey man, people hated that game, commercial and video game alike.
Well, look, this is more disliked. People are more disliked, and okay, so that's one thing, right? The video itself, but apparently people have been having issues. A couple of the issues is that there's input lag that affects Ocarina of Time. That's reasonable. You don't really need to have precise aiming or input lag in that game at all. Frame rate issues in other games, lack of controller pack support, and sound delay in other games. So yeah, so far so not great. But what are your thoughts on this, Dalen? I guess on the dislikes or on the fact that they're not running this thing that great on the emulation.
For the dislikes, I can only assume it's because of their pricing. I mean, it's getting as bad as if Destiny could be downvoted right now in regards to their pricing. They probably could be downvoted really hard. But Nintendo, they just can't justify that price. I tried to think of a way to justify the price, but unless they're giving us free games every single month like other platforms are, or they cycle out brand new games, then that price just isn't worth it for a Nintendo.
They're giving you an Animal Crossing DLC.
DLC,
what more do you want?
Game that I don't have, never touched, and never will.
You get a frog chair.
Come on, and a frog chair. Don't you want that?
I don't what. No, stop it.
So it does kind of, at the very least, if you're gonna charge that nasty of a premium, right? At least have these games running beautifully, right? Or at least as close to perfect.
Because when I'm firing my hook shot, it better be on time.
Oh, it won't. There's input lag issues apparently. Luis, what are your thoughts on this, man? Is this much ado about nothing, or is there some serious issues that Nintendo's got going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that I'm wondering why that's happening, because I'm sure they tested for these things, right? They went through a whole QA process, so I'm wondering what slipped through the cracks. Maybe they accidentally pushed out a build that shouldn't have been pushed out, or something like that without testing it thoroughly. I don't know, but yeah, as far as the video, because this wasn't news like a week ago when we talked about this, right? And even before that, when you and Deo talked about it on Reasonably Hyped. So I feel like this is just some sort of communication mechanism that users are like telling Nintendo, like, we don't like this service, like, you guys need to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sure you mean as far as the dislikes, right? But I think that dislikes, people dislike shit without ever playing it, never planning on buying something. They will dislike stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are those people that are disliking it just solely based on the price. They can't justify purchasing that or making that commitment. But I'm sure that, I mean, just the way that the internet is, it wouldn't surprise me that people went back to that video disliked
Oh.
it after they paid for it.
Dude,
I'm sure they're
dude,
getting hit up on Twitter and all this other
There's
stuff.
double
Dude.
dislikes.
pettiness.com, dude. Especially
Yeah.
if it's like anonymized. Is that the word? Anonymized? Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
sure, I'll click down. I don't care. Whatever. But look, whoever's
Yeah.
watching, whoever's listening, make sure to like and subscribe out there. So, you know, we're doing all right out there. But yeah,
Nintendo
no,
You're talking
video,
about
not Nintendo's video.
anonymity.
yeah, just hit up the Nintendo video. Add on to that. Get on that bandwagon. But
And
yeah,
especially with to add on because the Animal Crossing thing. So that'll be the one paid DLC that I guess users get for quote unquote free with the thing, and then there's going to be one final DLC push for Animal Crossing, and then that's it. They said that these are our plans for the game.
I
It's
actually
done.
think
So-
this was it. I think they said this was it. Like this
no,
was
it's
the
just
pack.
this one and another one.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
But and from there it'll be just quality of life updates, like a new frog couch or something like that.
yeah,
You know?
or as Dalen is concerned, a new literal couch in your living room. Those are
You
the
better
quality
give me a
of
little
life.
Couch for that much money over that much time. I will do payments over a couple of years. Now, I do have a different question. Is even though we were talking about Nintendo 64 and their frame rate and their pricing for it, Sega's supposed to be included in this package, but nobody's talking about Sega.
I mean, I would
did it
assume
even
there's
have
not
issues?
really
Is
that big
anybody
of an
playing
issue.
it?
Yeah, well, that's also true, right? Is anyone playing it? Because these games have dropped everywhere, man. Even the Wii had Sega games, right? Even that had a
Yep.
Genesis. They had a Turbo Graphics. They had all kinds of like virtually emulated games or whatever. But I don't know. Did you guys ever play the N64 version? I guess that would have been a nice comparison, right? To kind of go back to the Wii or the Wii U versions of this, and like, did those have input? Like, I don't remember there being this many issues, though. I don't remember people complaining. You would have heard about
any
it.
of these issues. The only time I heard this many issues is when PlayStation put out their PlayStation Mini. That's the last time I heard this many issues.
Yeah, but that was a library issue thing. I don't know if they had like lag input issues in that one. I think it was more like you don't even have Metal Gear Solid. Or did they have Metal Gear Solid? They did have that, right? But there was like stuff that it obviously didn't have, and they were like, wait, you don't even have these basic
It didn't
games.
have some good games that
Yeah.
should have been there, and it was very much emulated. Just that false emulation that everybody was hating on.
Well, all this is to say, Dylan, is Nintendo, get your crap together. I almost associated you with Nintendo there, Dylan. I don't know if you heard that. But Nintendo, get your crap together. I mean, you really want people to pay $50, no private chat, no nothing, but here we go. Here, pay for this. So get your crap together. Now, the thing that should have been a big deal last week was PlayStation State of Play. They did that on Thursday. But I kind of skipped through it. I didn't really see too many big things, Dylan. I know for you, maybe Star Ocean, the Divine Force, that's coming 2022. Is that pretty big for you, or?
Actually, out of the things in there, the two bigger things for me was King of Fighters and Devil Inside. I actually skimmed through Devil Inside only because they already sold me on it the first couple of times they released trailers and announced it. And since then, I've just been trying to avoid new stuff like the Plague. I just want to surprise myself at this point.
Mhm.
But King of Fighters 15, I'm ready for it. They need to have already launched that. I don't know why they're waiting for it unless they're trying to fix some bugs. Release that game. I will
Gotta
take
make sure they don't
you
have
can take
input
my money
lag.
now.
Come on, no input lag. Make sure
Does that-
make sure it's not a dollar combo fighter. You know, they got to do all that, Dylan. You know.
Well,
gotta
they
make
didn't
sure.
say none of that in their State of Play. That's the one problem with State of Play is even though they show these extra trailers with a couple extra scenes, they don't actually talk about the actual state of play. They just talk about, hey.
Oh,
look how good
Dalen's
it
taking
is.
it. Look, I didn't realize this, but Dalen think it's literal.
Right
the
now,
state
it's
of
the
It
play.
did used to be though. I think it did used to be in the earlier days, like an
Yeah.
actual state of like the union of what is the current state of PlayStation versus like this is what you should expect.
Well, you know what? I mean, yeah, the State of Play was kind of like a big thing, but it was like one-offs. Like it was like a one time a year or whatever type of thing. But now it's kind of like a Nintendo Direct, right? It's all under the same umbrella as a State of Play, but it's like State of Play, but don't expect any Horizon or God of War, nothing. This is just third parties, right? So it's basically the umbrella that it's like Nintendo Direct, right? Nintendo Direct for minis, Nintendo Direct for our first party stuff. So, but you know what? The Devil Inside, that's the Suda 51 joint, right, Dalen? Or is it not? Okay, is this gonna be campaign?
Just last time we looked at it.
Is it going to be
But
campaign or
No,
that's the
it's
only way I'll care about
it's
it.
like
dude.
a horror adventure thing, a survival horror game or something like that.
I think that's what I saw in the video. I saw
Yeah.
the first time I saw survival pop up, I was like, "Damn it, I'm out." Because
But the
dude,
game looks beautiful and it looks action packed at the same time.
Yeah.
So it looks like a dark version of I guess kind of Link-ish to me.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just me that's more interested. I guess this is because you got me into that game Inside or whatever that game was called. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And it looks
different.
just as beautiful as that to me.
Okay.
So I'm down to play that. But as for your question about Star Ocean, I'm just gonna answer that real quick.
I want to talk about Suda real quick. But go ahead, I guess. Go to Star Ocean, Dalen.
All right, fine. I'll make it really quick for the Star Ocean thing.
Why can't I
think
speak
their
on the
models-
Suda thing first, and then you go to Star Ocean? How about this, Dalen? Look, real quick, Suda 51, he did Shadows of the Damned, and he did Lollipop Chainsaw, and I love the crap out of those
Lollipop
games.
Chainsaw,
And I
yeah.
want this to be that, but I'm not sure it's that. Especially when you throw on Survival in the trailer. And then I was like, damn it, why?
Probably
Okay, Dalen.
the action pieces will be, but I don't know about the rest.
All right, Dalen, what's up with Star Ocean before we move on here?
My quick take on Star Ocean, this is the reveal that they had. The models and acting in it look ugly. I am very mad about that, but I'm sure that they're gonna have solid actual fighting and gameplay.
Look,
That's what
it's
I feel.
gonna be like, what's that game, Tales of Arise or whatever it is, Dalen? Like, you're gonna look at the
No,
demo.
This is gonna be the Tales of Berseria of the Star Ocean.
No. You're gonna look at Tales of Arise and this. You're gonna look at the demo of Star Wars. It's like the thing I don't like about the demo, and then we're gonna be like, in a month it's gonna be fixed, dude. It's out in a month and it's all gonna be fixed. And was it not,
They're gonna
Dalen?
replace all the models.
Was it not?
100%.
Was it not fixed? Your Tales of
It
Arise
was
issues.
fixed. It was fixed.
I don't know what the fuck happened there, dude, because I don't think that's how it's supposed to go down, to be honest. Like, that demo must have been... Right, Luis, can you back me up on this? That demo must have been really old, right? Or a few months old or something.
That's most likely what it was, honestly.
Yeah, because they didn't fix that shit in a month. Don't be buying into the hype like that. Anyway, State of Play, it wasn't too hypey. At least anything you saw from there, did you get a chance to kind of... did you see anything come out of that was kind of interesting?
I did not. I totally missed I forgot. I must have not logged on Twitter that
Well,
day
look,
or something.
Look, there was like
It's
10
on
games.
YouTube, 20 minutes. Take a little bit of time, skim through it. You'll be good.
At least I don't even know, dude, if you even should do that, to be honest.
Yeah,
man.
I think
Like,
I'm alright.
You know, to me, I'm not even that big of a Star Ocean fan, and to me, I was like, I think that's like the biggest thing that came out of it. And except this Suda thing, I'll give it a shot though, Dan. Like Arcane and Deathloop, I'll give it a shot. We'll see. We'll see if I rage quit after a little while. So we'll move on to this next thing. Big stories for each of us personally. Dalen, what is your big story of the past week?
The one that popped out at me was Sega exploring a strategic alliance
In
with
quotes.
Microsoft.
Some people
Yeah,
don't watch
I
video.
use
Dalen,
their
give them the
words.
quotes.
Huh?
Give them the quotes, Dalen, in audio form. Sometimes they don't watch the video.
All right, quote strategic alliance, unquote.
Mhm.
There you go.
Mhm.
With Microsoft to produce, quote, large scale, global games built using Microsoft's Azure cloud platform. I'm not sure if it's Azure or Azure. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But either way it goes, it's designed to develop games where their key focuses are global, online, community, and IP utilizations. And Sega dubbed this whole strategy, the super game. And I thought that was hilarious. But they ended up bringing this up a couple of months ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but there were like 2 pictures where they actually talked about their games that they wanted to actually re-release. They were actually pulling up like active IPs versus non-active IPs. So, of course, I'm hoping for some of these favorite games of ours to actually start making new IPs for it. But I think Narfield on Twitter actually described it to the best to me when I was reading through some of the comments.
And you know that's Dale, right?
Is it?
Mhm.
Hey, hold on. I like how we have it on wax.
I looked at his picture.
I
I
like-
was like, that looks like Dale.
Damn, dude, we have it on wax. Dale, listen
Are you
to
gonna
this
thank
man.
him for using his tweet or not?
Hey.
I will. All right, Dale, I am going to quote you at this time. He said it best.
Damn,
all right?
dude.
Really interesting
Damn.
partnership. Sega wants to be bigger in the PC space on a global and scalable form. Microsoft has the infrastructure and needs a strong Eastern developer partnership. Very symbiotic. My hope is that it fuels development of Sega's older franchises and new IPs. But in this instance, do you guys agree? Do you want this type of partnership to actually spawn those new IPs and expand on the games that we actually knew and loved from Sega? I know, Luis, you didn't have all the Sega systems back in the day, but I think Carlos, you might have stole a Sega system.
Damn, let him speak for himself, please. You want to go?
No,
you want to get at this
but
first, please? Let him speak for himself.
I had a
Damn.
Sega Genesis.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
Luis, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a partnership to be had, this probably makes the most sense, I guess, right now. I honestly don't know what to expect, but I don't expect anything. I'm crossing my fingers, I would say, for it to actually work out. I think so. But yeah, maybe there'll be some Sega franchises that they revive or just sort of what's the like bring back from the dead that they haven't done in a while, or just revamp something else that they've
Yeah.
done that was a big hit. So yeah, I'm crossing my
People
fingers
out
for
there
this
talking
one.
about Shining Force 3 and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I
no
think-
Pro stuff to Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I didn't look too much into it, but it seems interesting. But it's a little weird that they would say like the Azure cloud platform. Like to me, that's a little weird. Like I would want them to say we're gonna be on Xbox Series X or whatever. So I think Deo is onto something there, saying that it's it's more for the PC space or maybe even like the Android space or something like that. Because you're talking about cloud, that means you're trying to take advantage of the fact that you don't need a powerful local hardware, right? So I actually would have been a little more excited if they said, look, we're going to take advantage of the Series X and PC and all of that combined, not specifically about the cloud. So yeah, I mean, they did say, they're going to use IP utilization, right? Meaning that they might be bringing back some of their classics. I want to see something new though, right? Like I have Jet Grind Radio on my Vita and I love it and it's the best version of it, right? But Skies of Arcadia, like you said, Dalen, yes, of course I would like to see a new one.
Of course,
Which
those buttons aren't wacky.
yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm kind of in line with what Luis says also. Like I don't really know. I mean, it kind of like from hype to not hype, I'm like neutral on it. I'm not sure. Like I don't.
You land somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I want to see a little bit more from them, but it's definitely exciting the fact that Microsoft and Sega are like we're working together on something, right? But I don't know if Deo was the one that mentioned this, but I think someone else on Twitter, if it wasn't Deo, someone else said that the interesting thing for this would be that. Damn, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I lost what the quote was, but yeah, I mean, there's things that will come out of this that should be interesting. Oh, I just remembered. Thank you for giving me that little moment of rambling. It's the fact that Microsoft will probably use Sega's IPs like for Game Pass, right? I don't know if that was, like I said, if it was Deo, I give him credit at that, but I think it was someone else who said it. That we might see like Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Pass, whatever the next game, day and date, here you go. We're letting you take advantage of Azure and we're giving you all the tools that you need to take advantage of that, to do whatever you do as Sega. But yes, can we have Game Pass games day one, right? Like the next Sonic, the next whatever. So I think that's where the partnership comes into play, right? Or how they say strategic alliance, right? Because they're not getting bought out, right? And Microsoft didn't say we're gonna help you publish or we're gonna pay for your next game or anything like that, right? So we'll see. But what about you, Dan? Before we move on, or did you say your piece on that?
No, my piece on it is the fact that I do hope they actually do revitalize some of the older IPs and they become popular again so they can actually create more of those games on other platforms. Because think if they actually created a Virtua Fighter on a mobile platform and it gets super popular, then suddenly we have Virtua Fighter 6. Or the same thing goes for a mobile Skies of Arcadia. I think they did the same thing with a Tales series game, and it became super popular, and then Tales of Arise popped up. It just happens that way sometimes.
Well, I mean, being cloud means that they kind of introduce a little input lag. As good as your connection can be, as good as this cloud technology can be, you kind of introduce some input lag. So I feel like an RPG probably would be the best way. And not just because I'm being selfish about it and I want Skies of Arcadia again.
Of course not. But League of Legends is mobile, and they still do just fine.
Yeah. Luis, what is your big story for the week, sir?
Yeah, so as I'm sure most people have heard at this point, but if they haven't, Facebook has changed their name to Meta. So, and they will also be retiring the Oculus name alongside with it. So they're going to rebrand the Oculus name to Meta in favor of the quote Oculus from Facebook. End quote.
That's not wordy at all. It's not wordy at all.
Yeah, but I mean, I just assumed it would be Oculus from Meta, right? I didn't think they would change the Oculus itself.
Yeah, that's a little weird, right? They could have still kept Oculus, but yeah.
Yeah. So the VP of AR and VR, Andrew Bosworth from Facebook, it says he works at Facebook app, so I don't know if he's actually working at Meta or Facebook. But anyway, he wrote in a Facebook post, as we look forward to our goal of bringing 1 billion people into VR, we want to make it clear that Quest is a Meta product. For this reason, we're simplifying our brand architecture and shifting away from the Oculus brand for our hardware. and this will all start in early 2022. So the hardware will be called the Meta Quest, and then the app will be called the
That's,
Meta Quest app.
that's so weird.
What's up with all these developers and companies just making all these confusing names? The Switch OLED, the Xbox Series S, the Xbox Series X S1, the Xbox One, the
Yeah,
like Nintendo SWOLED, whatever. It's
the
like,
Swole, dude.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I understand that they're trying to make it clear that
Hmm.
the Quest is a Meta product, but they could have just done Oculus for Meta, I feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole Meta thing?
Well, and sometimes you could just tell like that's a way to distinguish them, right? Like Oculus, why does it need to be Oculus from Facebook or whatever? It's just the Oculus. There, yeah, they can just live on its own, right? I actually hadn't heard this, but it's so wacky. I mean, the name itself going from Facebook to Meta, whatever, right? I think some of it is they're trying to distance themselves from like Facebook is known from this and legal situations or whatever they've been dealing with lately. I haven't been kind of following that drama too much, right? But whatever it is, it's like, okay, let's do something a little different. Let's get people's minds off of it. But as far as, yeah, that's so weird, man. As far as like Oculus, like just keep it Oculus. Like I don't understand. But Dalen, what you think?
It is Facebook trying to take advantage of ignorance. That's what I believe.
Wow. Okay. Just to
Because you
explain.
rebrand, well, you have Facebook and all the baggage that comes with it, like you just mentioned. But a few years down the line, if you have changed the name for the people that did not actually follow what happened in this part of the news, there are going to be way too many people that no longer connect Meta with Facebook. It's still the same company, it's just a new name, but a couple years down the line, people are going to forget that. And then they're no longer going to associate all the bad things they did while the new things that they might be upcoming and doing.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
believe that they're just doing this simply to get away from their past. That's it.
I think in their own mind, of their own state of mind, or whatever you want to call it, I think they're being cute. And by being cute,
Why?
well, hold on. By being cute, I mean they're like, we believe in the metaverse. Because you even saw, I didn't see the whole. I'm just get annoyed by Mark, right? Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. I
Everybody
didn't
has no
I didn't
longer
care to
survived
watch the whole thing.
stoic face.
Whatever it is, right? I didn't really see it, but I think for the sense that I get, I mean, it's part of like metaverse, right? It's like we're all encompassing, all this. So that's what I mean by cute. They're trying to be like, look how smart we are. It's no longer just Facebook, but we're trying to create this whole space, and I guess you can have your own living room space or whatever it is. And that's honestly probably what they thought when they took over Oculus, right? When they bought Oculus, this was part of it, right? But it's so maybe that's what it is, Least. Maybe that's why to them it's easy enough to change from Oculus to Meta, because they're like, wait, that was like the whole point from the very beginning, right? So I don't think this is necessarily a knee-jerk reaction like of what's been happening to them in the last few months as far as controversies and all that. I think it's been in the works. I think it just happened to be like perfectly in line with like, let's give people some distractions and look
They
how
got caught
awesome
up.
we are, and look how awesome we are that we're creating this whole space. It's just like, all right.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
don't.
Meta.
It's not. It doesn't surprise me. I believe that you're correct. That this has always been sort of their vision, and even during that, because I did see the whole Oculus Connect thing, which I guess they're going to name that to Meta Connect at some point. Who knows? But
Oh, you work in
yeah.
this space though, so it was kind of it behooved
Well, yeah, I
you.
need to
It
be aware of
behooved
what's
you to
changing. Yeah.
to watch this, right? Okay.
I hope
Yeah.
WB sues them for their name.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh well, how about this? How about this from Daily? Come on, what's going on
Because
here?
they already
Meta.
have the metaverse.
Yeah,
They've
but
already
they
created
didn't
it.
come up with Meta the
Not
first time.
trademarked.
Okay? There wasn't trademark, Dalen. The Meta's the Meta.
Yeah, I
whatever,
know.
whatever goofiness it is, right? So, Luis, before we move on, from like a development standpoint, did you kind of glean anything from it, or like something that would help you with your work?
There was some stuff that could be sort of used in the more recent future, not necessarily right now. I mean, they kind of did talk about the advancements that they made since acquiring the company and all that, but a lot of this sort of presentation was like what's in the next 5 to 10 years for the company. So their grander vision, and the metaverse was the big focal point. But even they themselves admitted this isn't going to happen anytime soon. Like this is where we envision taking the company at some point. And they even sort of teased a new headset, but didn't necessarily. I guess what I kind of gathered from that headset tease was that they're going to introduce another wired VR headset. That's more
Which is
powerful
a
than
little
the
weird,
Quest
right?
2.
You would think like they would be pushing even further into wireless.
No, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The way that they're sort of framing it is we're going to make a more powerful headset and try to pack as much tech as we can into this thing that uses your PC's power. And then the development cycle will be we make a wired headset, and then a few years later we make one that's wireless that has all the same capabilities. And they're going to just kind of keep pushing themselves that way so that they could keep sort of what's the word, like
Kind of ahead of the game, like technologically
innovating,
wise.
I guess,
Innovative,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
So,
and so as far as you're concerned, that there's still a long way to go as far as that space is concerned. AR, VR, or are we kind of like we get it? We're in a
No,
we're
we're
headset.
in the future. We're in that future that we envisioned, 5 years ago, where it's like nobody had a headset. It was such a high sort of bar for entry, and now it's becoming more and more affordable. So I think they're just more focused on getting as many VR headsets out there as possible, which is probably why they didn't release a new one to, do a price increase or anything like that. Yeah, because I mean, as that Facebook post said right there, their goal is to get to 1 billion headsets out there, and there's a lot of people buying their first VR headset right now. So
Yeah. Which Dalen,
You
quick point, and then we move on, Dalen. What's up?
Well, you made me think of a topic that we had brought up in previous episodes, or it may have even been like before you joined us, Luis.
Well, you weren't
It
here last
was-
week, Dalen, so it wasn't last week.
Yeah, aside from last week, I listened to it. Shut up.
All right, continue.
But no, there was a point where we were talking about the VR coming out, and every time that companies have tried to go 3D and try and make 3D video games, it has always popped up and then failed for some reason, because we had the red and blue or red and green.
Yeah,
goggles that they
but
tried
at
to
this
do
point,
3D.
it's like convincing
Virtual
enough,
Boy
man.
Advance. I
Yeah,
know.
but at
We've
this
gotten to
point,
the
it's
where
like
it no longer
you're
hurts
in
the
there.
eyes and people actually want to go get it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it's succeeding, but at the same time, it's such a slow growth that it's hard to see it sometimes.
Well, I feel in a sense we're kind of getting to Final Frontier though, where it's like it's wireless, dude. When it gets to wireless, which we're kind of there.
We're there.
Now, going into our quick hits, apparently we're not that far ahead because we're still in the PS2 era, and even like with Resident Evil 4 that just dropped a week ago or 2 weeks ago, they announced I believe it was at this conference or presentation, right, that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is coming to Oculus VR. As you guys will remember, PS2 game, so eventually we'll get the whole PS2 collection, or Xbox or GameCube. Now this was through the Oculus Twitter, which I'm guessing they're going to change to Meta VR or whatever it is, right, Luis? But they said, quote, experience the iconic open world of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in an entirely new way. This Rockstar Games classic is in development for Oculus Quest 2. More details soon. My take on it is they're kind of making a little bit of a case for me to get that Quest 2 at some point. And not that I'm like super excited, but I want to be able to say, it's like, okay, what the hell is this about? Like, really, you guys got me playing PS2 games in VR? Like Resident Evil 4, I hear, is kind of cool. This could be cool. They didn't really show much about it, just the fact that it's coming. But Luis, any thoughts on this? Like, how could it play? How would it be? Are you hyped about this? When they said this?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and I even, I'm one of the biggest sort of
Proponents of GTA.
proponents, I guess. Yeah, I
Stop
don't know if
logging
that was the
into
right word to
GTA
use
5.
there. Yeah, whenever you say that into the group chat, I give it a
Immediate
thumbs down.
and immediately
whatever.
log into GTA 5 that
I
instant.
do. I do my hotel casino wheel spin. I do everything. I get the champagne. I buy some chips.
It's
But
a whole ritual.
and I'm excited about the trilogy, the definitive edition. And everyone always complains, oh, so this is why we're not getting GTA 6, blah blah, whatever.
Because it's true. Because it's
And then
true.
you're delaying GTA 5 for the PS5 and blah blah. Well, that I'm not too sure of, honestly. I'm not entirely sure of this. I don't know for sure. I haven't done the research, but I don't necessarily believe that Rockstar is working on these games by themselves. Like, they definitely have outsourced. They're outsourcing a lot of it, and I do feel like a good chunk of their resources are going towards GTA 5 remastered and GTA 6. And for the VR version and then the trilogy remastered, or the definitive edition, I do think a lot of that work was out not in-house. So
And
I don't
and
necessarily
I
think it's just delaying GTA 6, but this is where I draw the line.
well,
Like, nobody is asking for a VR version of GTA, especially San Andreas, a PS2 game.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Look,
No one's
look.
asking for it.
Look, I am instigator at times, very few times, but at times I can instigate some stuff. Of course they're working on GTA 6, man. These guys are all this revenue, all this cash has to be going somewhere. The only thing is that unfortunately they don't got the heater under their buttocks. Like, we need to release the next game because they're making so much money from their current slate, right? And I just wish they didn't move at a glacial pace. That's all. They're very glacially moving along. The problem is we have experiences from these huge companies, Valve, that of course they've been working on the next Half-Life. Of course they've been working on the Left 4 Dead, but they're like, you know what? This little Steam machine, this little thing, and they're about to drop on Vita 2.0 / Steam box. They're like, why? We're minting cash over here, and that we will get backlash, we will get bad reviews, we will get downvoted on our YouTube reveal. They're like, we're just gonna get all this cash out of Steam. But yeah, Dalen, what are your thoughts on this, man? GTA San Andreas to VR.
You keep buying it, we'll keep making it. And on top of that, we have this whole.
Who said that? Who was it? The Skyrim guys.
Skyrim.
Right?
Yeah,
assholes
Skyrim.
too, man. Damn assholes over there.
But there's also the fact that they don't need to really divert like all their funds towards making GTA 6 either, simply because it's probably a lot cheaper just to create expansions for GTA 5. And every time they drop expansions, people show up and people spend money. And they're still good and they're still making more money. Now they're re-releasing San Andreas, which was what, 15 years ago or something like that.
Yeah,
people are still gonna buy it. People are still gonna play it, and people are still gonna talk up about it and not down about it because they know that people love San Andreas. If you dropped, what was the one with Gay Tony? If they re-dropped the one with Gay Tony, I'm sure people would actually end up buying that again anyway, and then people wouldn't complain.
Dalen, that's about the most succinct point you've ever made on this here podcast. That was a very salient point, sir. You keep buying it, we'll keep giving it to you. But apparently, so Snoop Dogg says that Dr. Dre is working on music for a new GTA. He says, quote unquote, or he says, quote, I do know he's in the studio. He told Rolling Stone, I do know he's making great fucking music. Oh, damn, Snoop, watch your language. And some of his music is connected to the GTA game that's coming out. So I think that will be the way that his music will be released, through the GTA video game. Now, I think at first this came across as like he's working on the next GTA game, as in GTA 6. And I know Snoop Dogg is kind of a gamer, but I think he just mostly plays Madden and Call of Duty. So I don't know how closely he follows actual development, right? Like, of all these different games. So I mean, San Andreas is coming out. I don't know if maybe that's what he's referencing, the fact that, yes, their music is in San Andreas, right? But I hope this means he's working on the next GTA 6. But what do you guys think on that? Dalen, what do you think that he means? He's mistaken and he is talking about GTA San Andreas, the trilogy, or a new GTA?
It's possible that they may have even lost some of the rights for some of the original songs, because a lot of those songs are still owned by the record companies themselves. So it's
okay, yeah.
They want to actually just remake new songs for the game, and you're gonna hear entirely new tracks on this soundtrack that they're making for the re-release. Okay. But yes, it's entirely possible that it's for GTA 6. But if that's the case, then we'd probably hear more news about it.
Luis? What do you think, man?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's for the trilogy, the definitive edition. That makes the most sense to me. I don't believe that it'll be for the VR version of the game. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, I don't believe that this is news that's dropping for GTA 6 or whatever. It could possibly be, though, that it's just new music for the GTA 5 remastered version, because music has been, that's the game that really pushed them into the music space hard. I mean, so much so that they made a record label called Citico Loco Records. So
and then they got sued by somebody.
You're saying with San Andreas, because I think Vice City was where it really was started popping off with Vice City. San Andreas took it to a different level, of course.
But no. I said GTA 5.
Oh. Okay, but I mean, as far as the music,
Yeah,
goes,
but he said it started in Vice City. That was his point.
Yeah, I feel like going to Vice City.
Sure, I mean they put music in the games, but what I'm saying is that with 5,
yeah, but it was so popping though. The Vice City one like made that game when I was doing drive-bys. I will.
With 5, they were constantly updating, adding new radio stations, swapping tracks out, like so they were able to really kind of keep pushing the limits of what they wanted in the game. The way they wanted to introduce different tracks or radio stations, you have to be in specific parts of the map to like get the radio signal, or find different USB devices to put different songs in. So that's kind of where they're really
in the game, because I did not play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know why though, Luis? Because I don't log into that game anymore. They need to just give me the next one. Okay, that's why I don't know all these nuances of the music.
Hey,
tracks
Carlos, the moment they stop making GTA 5,
this is your miss.
Hey, the moment they stop making GTA 5, they're just gonna head over to Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't worry about it.
I'll take either. I'll take.
I wish.
I hope. I'll take both. All right,
that game is dead, man.
Moving on to so hey, we finally got a glimpse of what Xbox Series X and S finally sold. It's been the longest time. I know you guys don't follow the sales too much, or at least I know Dalen does it for sure. Maybe Luis, I don't know if you follow it too much, but we finally got a glimpse into how much Xbox has sold, and they said 8 million Xboxes/S's have sold. Game Pass is at 20 million plus, which I kind of feel proud of that, because I think I was talking to Dale recently. I was like, oh, 25 million plus are gonna be playing Halo Infinite day one, which is not quite 25 million, but I wasn't too off. I feel just a few million there. So Xbox Series X and S is 8 million consoles. PS5, on the other hand, of course, is 13.3 million in the last quarter, which for Xbox is in the last quarter as well. But I think they're doing pretty well. And as far as like Xbox is concerned, they like that Game Pass number, right? I'm assuming that they like that 20 million people plus are paying $15 a month, which, to be honest, I never have. I always try to get it for cheaper than that. But let's assume that it's, $10, right, on average, maybe, that people are paying for Game Pass. So I think they're a little more happy about that number. But of course, they're happy enough about the hardware that they finally gave us kind of a, like, it's 8 million are out there. We're happy about that, because they hadn't for like years told us how many hardware units they had sold. What are your thoughts on this, Dalen? This is the console wars, right? This is what the people fear.
Hey man, Dalen definitely doesn't follow these numbers. Remember that?
Okay, Dalen, like, Luis, what are your thoughts on this? Dalen, moving on. Luis, what
he said no from the jump in the rundown. I don't know if you could read that.
No, I did read it. No, I did read it. That's why I wasn't going to pass it on to Dalen at any given point. You
did say my name, though. You asked me.
Dalen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Luis, what are your thoughts? Look, all I'm saying is, of course, I saw the no, and of course, I had to just shout him out, but I wasn't going to ask him for his 2 cents on it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
did.
No, I did. Hey, rewind the tape. Look, rewind the tape, and you'll see. Rewind the tape. But all right, Luis, what's up, man? What are your thoughts on this here little hardware battle?
Yeah, I mean, well, I've said my take multiple times on here. I don't kind of necessarily, I believe the console wars are dead. Whoever's still like on the console war thing is, that's sort of primitive, a
little too wacky
caveman mentality. Yeah. So it's just good to hear that both companies are doing well. I mean, PlayStation, they did 5 million more, but who knows how much that has to do with availability of components and whatnot, and with this whole shipping industries is in cahoots right now, or whatever. Or not cahoots, but they're in trouble.
Yeah. They're not in they're in cahoots in the sense that they're all in trouble right now, and that thing keeps getting pushed out too, man. They keep saying 2022 and then 2023. So if you see a console in the wild and you want it, grab it.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was supposed to get my unrelated, but it is a piece of tech. I was supposed to get my MacBook Pro. I ordered a new one tomorrow. It's not getting here until, like, Thanksgiving.
They're like, you know what? So, no. You're not going to get it.
But, yeah, good to hear they're being successful. And then I guess they felt good enough to release those numbers in Game Pass. I mean, that they definitely shifted towards that being their main source of, like, I guess, revenue or whatever. Yeah. I just wanted a new fridge, though. What's the fridge numbers?
We got, hey, those are getting scalped too, man. Those are getting scalped out too.
I know. I just wanted Truly's at arm's reach near my desk, but I guess that's not going to happen.
Yeah, because it's tiny enough, right? So you can kind of hang out with it right on your desk, probably. It doesn't fit too many cans.
KFC oven too, or whatever it is.
Yeah, but look, I feel the same way about it as well, Luis. I kind of like the I like that it'll bring out competition, right, between companies, but like really like let me side with this company or not, as in like a whole to the death type of console wars type of thing. No, but I do like the fact that they're both competitive in their own field, right? Like you were saying, Xbox is fully into Game Pass, and PlayStation 5 is into that high AAA quality content that even Xbox themselves have said, right? That they're still catching up to that. But hey, they're both happy to release these numbers and let people know about them. I'm glad too, man. I hope they're pretty damn successful at this, because that means we get better games, more Game Pass stuff, etc., etc. Moving on to the next thing, Returnal finally did get that update. We did mention it last week, I believe, that they did like the suspend cycle where you can stop it, you can save, you can turn off your console and move on and then come back to it. And of course, the internet being the internet, they already found out. I hadn't heard this term before, Dale. Maybe you had, but I guess people are save scumming it. So they figured out how to kind of go back to that initial save, because it's actually supposed to destroy the save, or just kind of get rid of the save once you load back into the game. But no, the internet being the internet, they figured out how to like, you know what, I didn't like that run, let me go back to that save that should have been deleted. But we'll go to you, Dalen, on this one first. What are your thoughts on this, man? You like this, or is it destroying the honor and the intent of the developer doing this?
For the people that are reloading the same in between save point that they have, I think that is destroying the intent of the game. The fact that they put the save point in between so that you can actually suspend and turn off your game for a system that doesn't allow you to do it the same way the Xbox does, I think it's awesome that they finally decided to add that. And it made me say, hey, maybe I should buy this game. I rolled over that game like 3 or 4 times, came this close to buying it, and then I was like, nah, I ain't got the time.
Not like this. Not like this. Like in the Matrix scene, not like this. Not like this.
But then I'm hearing about this save scumming thing. I'm like, man, that's messed up. They did this for you guys after everybody complained about the fact that you had to take these long runs.
Does it make you want to get it more or less? Because honestly, the save scumming thing makes me want to get it more. It makes me want to exploit this thing more. Real quick though, before your response there, I think you said that the Xbox doesn't let you do it. Xbox lets you do it, and for multiple games.
No, I'm saying it does.
Okay, got you. I got you. Okay, then my bad, dude. What were you saying?
It's like the Xbox lets you suspend and come back
multiple games too.
But
not
other
just the
systems didn't let you do that.
Yeah. Which I thought the PS5 was gonna let us do that, right? But it didn't. I thought it can do it. I'm assuming it can. It just haven't prioritized
Sony walks its own path. I don't know what to tell you there.
Sometimes their path is incorrect. So this doesn't necessarily convince you to get it more. The fact that you wouldn't try to do this?
No, it does convince. Well, the fact that they're scumming it does not convince me to get it more. The fact that they updated it and added the save state to where you could actually turn it off, that makes me want to get it more.
Will you save scum at some point? I'm sure you will, man. Don't lie to yourself, Dalen, and don't lie to the people. You will save scum yourself.
I know you will for sure.
I'm not talking about me. I already said I did. I did. Would you?
But I will say this, is that I still I know I'm going on a different game in this case, but I remember us playing Destiny 1. Mm-hmm. And we would exploit that game every chance we got.
And that's fine, and I agree. But with Returnal, Dalen, will you save scum?
I don't know. It depends on how frustrating the game is.
Don't lie to the people, Dalen, and don't lie to yourself.
It depends how frustrating it is.
Luis, it's going to get real frustrating. Trust me, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, Luis, what are your thoughts on the save scum here? On the save cycle?
I like how Dalen won't admit to whether or not he will save scum, but he, like, with no problem, he goes, I already have Dune. Like, just like before it even comes out in theaters.
That's on wax, Dalen. That's on wax. It can't be deleted.
Don't copy that floppy.
Don't copy that floppy, Dalen.
Did not download it.
So, Luis, what's up with you on this save scumming thing, man?
Not necessarily the save scumming part. That aside, this is the thing that would get me to play the game again, give it another shot, like having a checkpoint essentially in there, or being able to close the game at the very least, right, and then go play something else, or just turn off the system entirely. Sure, I mean, doing this alone is already sort of deviating from the vision that whatever creative director or whoever.
They released it with that thought that you would go on runs, right? You on your system and you go on runs. Yeah.
But I've always had the thought that if something comes out and is buggy and the player can exploit it in any way, then it technically is sort of not by design in the sense that it was the way they intended it, but if it's possible, then it's a feature, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Somebody
I
tell
know.
that to Anthem.
No, and I know this is a different case because this is a single player game, but like I don't like what Destiny does when there's an exploit and then they go, if you do this, you're gonna get banned.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
you let it happen. So what's the problem here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Actually,
disable
last I
the.
checked, Destiny doesn't do that. There was a point where
They
they
just did it
No,
like a week ago.
they get punitive. That's kind of one of the things with
Yeah.
Destiny that I don't like. They do get punitive with like, don't do this, don't go to the cave. We're like, oh, I'm gonna continue doing this until you cut that crap out. So they get a little punitive, which is like it's kind of the what part of the wackiness and part of the fun, to be honest. Like it's like, look at this crap. They're gonna and it's like a race to the clock, right? Like a race to the when they patch it, because when they patch it, then you're like, okay, well they patched it, I can't do it no more. So will you safe scum, Luis? Or you wouldn't do it?
Probably if I get frustrated enough, yeah.
Oh, I'm
And if
look.
it's
There
still
you
there.
go. If you get
No.
pressured enough, you'll do it.
See, you guys are probably.
That's a problem.
I'm like a definitive yes, hell yes. I'm gonna try to find out how to do it because I want to be the least amount of because it's actually a cool game. I like the mechanics
You're
of it.
gonna buy it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this point. There's a lot of
That's what
games,
your
dude.
problem is.
There's a
Gotcha.
lot of games. There's a lot of games
All right,
happening. As
let's move
I think
on.
one of the podcasts was too many games, right? I think that's where we're at right now. The next one on here. So Capcom is pretty happy about Resident Evil 3 remake. They've deemed it a hit after selling 3.9 million copies of the game. Besides that, there's a little bit of news about Resident Evil Village. That's gonna get some free DLC at some point. Dalen, which one's the topic here that you want to comment on?
Well,
Or both?
I'm just glad. Let me think about this, but I'm still glad that Resident Evil 3 has actually made enough of an impact to actually say that it's successful. But it was one of those games where I was like, I know it's going to be successful, even if people are actually mad at the ending. Because I saw how Resident Evil 2 rolled out, Resident Evil 3, they might have changed some stuff, but it was still a beautiful game and people were still talking about it. You even had a line that you loved to quote from it. And then Resident Evil 8, sure.
What's the line?
Drop us some DLC for free. I'm fine with that. But I'm kind of done with Resident Evil 8. It's one of those decisions you beat it. I'm like, all right, there's some extra stuff to do, but I kind of don't care about it.
Before
The
we
same
move
way I
on,
felt about Resident Evil 7.
before we move
Ours.
on, Dale. Before we move on, what's the line that I like? What's the line you speak of?
Oh man, it was some curse word that Jill said when she was running off of the bridge, yelling at the monster. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember either. You're over here making accusations out here.
It was not an accusation.
But
it was a truth.
it probably is. But I don't remember. You don't remember. I do like the fact, yeah, that it was successful. I did like Resident Evil 3. I maybe because I didn't really have that background where I was like I played 3 so much back in the PS1 era. I don't think I ever even played through Resident Evil 3. Or 2 or 1. I played them. Well, I played.
You didn't even play Resident Evil.
Well, I
What
played
do
the.
you do?
I
Do you
played
even
the.
rate, bro?
Do you even rate? Do you even Resident Evil, bro? Do you even Biohazard, bro? But no, I did play through all the remakes though. I did Resident Evil 1 remake and 2 and 3, and I do like that they have separate paths though. That they kind of have like this still like behind the camera type of third person shooting with Resident Evil 2 and 3, and I kind of hope maybe their next game could be like that, right? And then they wait to do it first person. So I kind of like how Resident Evil they've been able to splinter off, and they're both good in their own right. Right, the first-person version and still the third-person action version of the game. So I'm pretty glad that Capcom's like, look, it's a hit. We hadn't heard about the Resident Evil 3 in a little while, the remake. So it's good that when we hear about it, it's a hit. Dalen, this next one's a little wacky for you, so I threw this in here for you. But Roblox, sorry to say, was offline for about 3 days in a, quote, especially difficult outage, end quote. That's from the CEO. He did, who did he talk to? His name is David Baszucki. He's the Roblox founder and CEO. He did explain in a post that after the operations were restored, he said, a core system in our infrastructure became overwhelmed, prompted by a subtle bug in our back-end service communications while under heavy load. I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe you guys can help me with that. But a mom on Reddit put it like this. Honestly, my son was freaking out because it wouldn't let me log on. It was like the end of the world. Dalen, thoughts? I know you love Roblox.
I don't know anything about Roblox. I was just laughing at the fact that it was a really huge thing for a minute, kind of like
no,
what's the name of the
not
other
it was a
blocky-
huge thing, Dalen. It is a huge thing. It's still
whatever.
a huge thing.
It's about as big as Minecraft, last I checked, right?
Yeah, it might be a little bigger at this point, but yes, it's in that
Yeah,
vein.
but at this point, I'm thinking, imagine if Minecraft went down. Haha, it went down for like 3 days.
It's a little. Hey,
Why
hey,
is that?
Maybe
Why
it's
is
gonna
that
have to do with it. It's like Fortnite
entertaining?
going
yeah,
down.
why do you find that entertaining? It's like the end of the
Hey
world
man,
out
I'm
here
only
for
here because
people.
Fortnite is down. That's why.
Yeah, because it's Fortnite. It's big enough. So we did go over the weekend. It was Halloween, right? I did go to like a park, a scare park or whatever it was. And I did see one of the kids, just a random, like maybe like 8-9-year-old or something, went up to one of the clowns like, "You look like one of the characters from Roblox." And I was like, "Oh, damn, okay." Just publicly naming out these characters. So Roblox is a pretty damn big thing. So I can imagine it's out for 3 days and the parents start pulling their hair out that use this game as a babysitter. But there it is, Dylan. Roblox. It's like the end of the world out here, man. Don't be scared. The next one on here, Back for Blood reaches 6 million quick. And like our friend on one of our other chats, Dylan, Ricky, so a little shout out for Ricky. He said, yeah, because it's on Game Pass. And I'm like, yeah, obviously that's how they reach that many players. But 6 million is still, quite a bit, right? What are your thoughts on that, Dylan?
Hey, even though it's out on Game Pass, what was it? Marvel came out on Game Pass, and it definitely didn't reach those extra.
Oh damn, it didn't. Okay, that's
true.
fair. That's very fair, Dylan. There's a lot of stuff on Game Pass. Does it even hit 6 million like that?
Hey,
Still
at
on
least
Game
there
Pass.
was interest in Back for Blood.
yeah. So at least people were interested. I mean, that's kind of what Game Pass is too, right? Like you're interested, you'll click on it. Anything else besides that, Dylan? That was the point.
That was the thing.
All right, I like it.
Oh,
I like
actually, and there was the other thing that apparently there are more people on Left 4 Dead 2 than there are on Back for Blood.
I saw that. I didn't really look into that, but yeah. So it's a hit, but not as big of a hit. But Back for Blood, I don't think it's moddable yet. I mean, I'm sure at some point they'll open it up or something, but I don't think it's moddable yet. Whereas Left 4 Dead has been like people are making
People
up their
played
own
Back
game.
4 Blood and said, "Why am I not just playing Left 4 Dead?"
Maybe that's what happened, right? Like they were like, "Yeah, I've seen enough. I'll go back to my modded Left 4 Dead."
I forgot how much I enjoyed Left 4 Dead. It's like
Yeah.
playing Division. Man, I forgot how much I love Destiny. Let me go play Destiny.
Yeah. So, but look, 6 million. I guess that's good. I believe that's probably a start. So we'll see. We'll keep playing it, right? We still got a couple chapters to go in that game. The next thing on here, this one's for Luis. I know he's a fan of the Naughty Dog alums. Amy Hennig's new company, Skydance New Media, is working on a new Marvel game, and this is from a statement from Hennig. Quote, "The Marvel Universe epitomizes all the action, mystery, and thrills of the pulp adventure genre that I adore and lends itself perfectly to an interactive experience. It's an honor to be able to tell an original story with all the humanity, complexity, and humor that makes Marvel characters so enduring and to enable our players to embody these heroes that they love." Look, Luis, I'm going to put it to you like this, man. I love Amy Hennig because Uncharted is one of my favorite game series of all time. I love the gameplay and the story, but she really said a whole bunch of nothing with this, man. What the hell is this? She could have given us a little bit more, right? Or do you feel like she kind of gave you a glimpse onto what she's working on next? Or
I think it's fine. I think this is kind of what you expect from like a game reveal without a trailer. I mean, nothing more than a few sentences, right? So,
Yeah.
and yeah, of the same mindset. I loved the Uncharted series. I love the work that she did on there. So either way, I'll check it out. If it wasn't Marvel, if it was whatever, I would check it out. I also, side note, love the fact that Dalen felt that he hit mute, so like it's not going to pick up any of that on the actual microphone.
on,
when
Dalen,
he's
what are
on
we
the phone
doing?
calling.
Damn.
Dalen, come on, what are we
Right.
doing? Look, and you were on video, Dalen. You gave people like
Hey,
a
man, when you know
look
I'm
that
on
was not
mute,
proper.
Just go ahead and cut out that part of the sound. You'll be
Look, as far as the video, I'm not editing nothing. But there was go back and look at that video, Dylan, and you revealed a little too much when you walked away for a moment. I'll put it to you that way. All right,
My butt was on screen.
that was not right, dude. That was not right. All right, and I had to point it out. I just had to point it out. But yeah, I mean, as far as like, I'm excited too that it's Amy Hennig, right? Like she's a good storyteller. Obviously, she helmed the Uncharted games. So yeah, I mean, like you were saying, it could be Marvel, it could be whatever else. And the thing is, she really hasn't given us anything, right? Like that's the thing. Like where's or did she work? She worked on Star Wars, or she was working on a Star Wars game, right? But I don't think that ever came out.
Sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
So I'm looking forward to, I'm kind of we could trust in Amy Hennig, I hope. So anything that comes out of it, and it's in the Marvel universe, so Dalen will love it as well. A lot of people will love it, but we'll see what happens next. We're moving on to what you've been playing. Luis, let us know, man. What you've been playing lately?
Yeah, I've been juggling a lot of games in between Ghost of Tsushima trophy cleanup. I've been just playing three other single player games in tandem.
Okay.
So I went back to A Plague Tale. I went back to Super Mario 3D World because I never beat that because I didn't want to. I got really bored.
Okay.
And then I started Tell Me Why, but I got the first episode on Steam for free, so I'm checking that out as well.
Is Tell Me Why from the Life is Strange guys? Is it the same people or
Yeah.
no? Okay. Is it in that same universe or just different?
I don't know
different?
for sure. I don't know for sure. It is different mechanics though so far, so it's not like the time manipulation stuff if you're expecting that, but it is like a very heavily story-driven game.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just kind of, similar to Life is Strange, exploring the environment, picking up things that'll give you different options later and dialogue pieces and all that.
Teenagerangst.com. Is that
Not it's not as bad
Okay.
so far. It's not as bad.
Tell
but,
me why.
wow, Dylan? Just
All right,
wow.
Backstreet Boys.
But the because Life is Strange was a little like it was very like cringy. A lot of the stuff
very
was
teen angst, yeah.
teen angst, very what is that? Beyond New World or whatever, the Walking Dead new offshoot series
Beyond
or
Two
whatever.
Souls?
Oh, yeah.
Well, as far as that one, Tell Me Why, are you planning on going on to the next chapters? Was it convincing enough to
Yeah, I'm
buy them?
still. I feel like I'm barely at the quarter point of chapter 1, so I'll
Okay.
keep playing. But yeah, so far it has me sold on going through the rest of the series, which is I guess will be a total of like $40 or something if I buy the other.
So
two
what, like
chapters.
4 Oh, it's 3 chapters. Is it still going
I
or
think
it's done?
3. I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure it's over though. But
Okay.
But apparently, it's interesting enough for him to say, "I might just keep going."
For Super Mario 3D World, quick question. You can play online, right? We could play online.
it's better to play solo, dude. There's too much chaos going on with online.
Is it the Bowser's Fury one? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
what it
because
is?
Bowser's Fury isn't online, which I think that one would be a little more manageable. But it's also like girlfriend mode, kind of. I hope that's not like derogatory or anything, but it kind of
in today's world,
in
yeah.
today's world, not in during the Wii. Everyone was saying girlfriend mode during the Wii version of this game or the Wii U version of this game. Anyway, it was a secondary player, very secondary is what I'm saying. Okay, if you guys don't like that.
whatever. Whoa, Carlos is 2021.
Uh,
Watch it.
But yeah, we never did. We played it once or twice. Yeah, 4-player online co-op, dude. It's really wacky. It's
yeah, it
really
gets
wacky.
wacky.
Too
People are
chaotic.
hopping on each other's heads. And just,
I
like,
think
trying to
that's-
throwing
each
people
other.
off the map because you can do that for some reason.
I think that that one's one of those leads like where you play through it yourself and then you're like, you know what? Help me grab these things, these like little collectibles. I think that's kind of
No, not even.
Not even. Damn. Okay, I'll see. That was a fun ass game, dude. I think I got really into Super Mario 3D Land, the 3DS version, because it was amazing, man. It was a 3D Mario portable, and it was. I think I like that one a little bit better, but I like 3D World too. Actually, I dug that one.
Did you actually beat A Plague Tale?
No,
He's
I'm
working
still.
on
I don't know what chapter I'm in, 5 or 6 or something.
Oh, man, that game is so
Dalen,
much fun. I won't spoil it for you. I'll be quiet.
Dalen, what you been up to, man? And don't spoil it for anyone, Dalen. What you been up to, Dalen? What you been playing this past week?
This past week, I have not touched Mario RPG, but I meant to. Instead, I've been just going more into Tales of Arise, as we have spoken of a couple of times. It's an RPG, so I'm probably gonna be stuck on that for a while. It's one of those lengthy RPGs, and the story is just super interesting, like most of the way. And you were here, and you saw me go through some of the fights and how action packed it could get really fast.
It looked
And you over here
actiony.
just shake your head. No.
It looked actiony. It looked RPG-ish. It looked like, don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of this at all.
Carlos, we're not going to use your opinions in these cases. But,
Sorry.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
I also was playing Tekken 7 if anybody wanted to actually reach out and hop on it with me. 'cause
Dollar
I'm down to
combo.
fight some people on Tekken.
Dollarcombo.com.
You can call it dial combo if you want, but it still takes some skill.
I do like
but
that you
I
guys, so you and Ricky, when I went over to your house, you and Ricky were playing this game, Tekken 7. And I like how one girl was in straight up high heels and a bikini. I was like, fighting in a volcano. And I was like, yes, she's perfectly dressed for this. She's perfectly ready to fight in this environment here.
For those for those that know Tekken, he's talking about Eliza in her bikini costume. But she's a vampire.
I mean, that's just the lore, I guess.
But she's always falling asleep for whatever reason. Anyways,
She don't have a headband, dude. She needs that Final Fantasy VII remake headband, and she won't fall asleep.
You mean the ribbon?
No, it's a headband.
It's Ribbon. That's what it is. But
Talk about
I
Mario
was
Golf
actually
while I look
just
this
more
crap up.
surprised that I was just more surprised that they just released more characters for this game. I was like, I thought they were done releasing characters for this game, but they're not done. They're just gonna keep doing this, and hopefully they come out with a Tekken 8. But people keep buying Tekken 7, so in the long run, I guess I'm fine with that because I like Tekken 7.
Yeah, Dalen.
but
So
I was
no, not a
also-
ribbon. I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you can see it on the
Okay,
camera.
fine. What is it?
I don't know. You know,
You
whatever.
looked it up.
But it says
What
head.
was it?
It says headband. It's for 7 remake. Headband is an accessory in Final Fantasy 7 remake that makes the wearer immune to sleep. Yeah, you know I hate the lore, dude. You know I hate looking up this nerdy crap, and I just had to
fine.
do
What
it.
is the-
I just
what
had
does
to do
the
it.
ribbon do?
I don't know.
Meanwhile,
Look,
we're
what's
talking
going
about-
on with Mario Golf? I'm not looking up no ribbon because I proved my point. All right, Mario Golf, Taylor. How you feeling about this game that you returned to?
It was actually a really good version of a cartoonish golf. It was basically a Hot Shots Golf, even though I guess everybody liked Kirby Golf Land way more. But Mario Golf is actually a perfectly fine golf game with its wacky environments that they throw you into, tornadoes because you throw your ball off in another direction, or you get caught in some quicksand. And they really get into the nitty gritty of how the mechanics will work and the will.
Have you played through the story in that, or did you only play the multiplayer part of it?
I was just about to mention that I started the adventure mode, and I do not pay attention to a word those people said. It's just a lot of talking for absolutely no reason. But you're basically
Are we gonna
going
golf?
from land
You're
to
like, are
land.
we gonna golf at some point? What are you guys
That's
chatting
basically
about?
what it is. They make you run around the land to try and get to places and try and find. It's like a little wannabe RPG. It is a wannabe RPG. They just have points where they say, okay, you need to go here at a certain time. I'm like, I'm not gonna go there at a certain time. I'm gonna go now.
Which honestly,
wait for
that's
nothing.
so I did GameFly this game, Mario Golf, and that's actually the reason I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it because I want to play a wacky RPG like golf plus RPG. I want to mess with that. That's honestly, I still haven't gone through it. I have to kind of play through it, and I'm sure that you learn the mechanics right through it.
Yes,
Okay,
I
there we
actually got a lot better doing the little side quests that they have there because every so often there's a Koopa with an exclamation mark over his head says, "Here, do this," and it's little challenges that can make it fun and it can actually deviate.
Because I think, and that
boring
would help
story.
me because I think we played one time and dude, you destroyed the crap out of me. Like as soon as you
Hey,
figured out
man.
like the perfect stroke or whatever that was, it was impossible. I couldn't beat you. So
Hey,
I think
man,
I gotta go
thanks
to
to
the
this
RPG.
adventure mode, I've gotten significantly better.
So
It definitely helps.
So we also did, Dalen, Mario Party Superstars. We did do a round. How many turns did we do? 20 turns or 20?
We did
whatever?
20 turns.
Yeah, and it's pretty wacky. They upgraded the
with
graphics.
an asterisk since we kept taking very large breaks.
Hey man, that's what it's about. But I like it. I want to play it a little bit more. It does have online played, which I want to try out. I suppose at some point.
Do I have to have the game? Is it one of those things that that you could have the game and then multiple people could play it with you, or does
I don't know.
everybody have to buy it?
Nintendo is like on a case by case on that crap, man. So we could try it out. Like you would have the download play, right? And we would
Yeah, that's what
connect
I'm talking
over.
about.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I think you would have to have a copy. Like to be able to play online, I think you would have to have a copy. But you know, we could
First
kind of
off,
look
I'll
into
figure
that.
it out. Then I'll decide
Yeah.
whether or not it's worth it to me. Because I kind of hate Mario Party. I've hated Mario Party since Mario Party like 2. Because that game is just randomosity.
Yeah.
and
So, but
there's no skill involved.
you know, I there's a little bit of, I mean, it really is just wackiness to like the 10th degree, right? But yeah, so I want to play it a little bit more, I guess, just to kind of see if I'm gonna shoot it back to GameFly. GameFly, we're still waiting for your patronage or your partnership here on your advertisement on the podcast. Yeah,
We're waiting on your partnership.
Mario Party Superstars. It seems cool so far. I do like how they updated all the graphics, right, and everything looks kind of a little cleaner. And it's kind of like the best of, pretty much it's in the name, Superstars, the best levels out there. Besides that, I'm continuing my trek into Super Metroid, and I'm enjoying that game. It's a little wacky at this point. I've decided, like, I'm just following a guide on it, man. At this point, I'm like, you know what? I try. So what I do is I'll
You're
click.
getting too lost.
So
too quick.
yeah, I'll do the guide for a little bit, and then it kind of opens me up in a big old space that I haven't been before. I'm like, you know what, I'll mess with this on my own. But then at some point, I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to the guide. I'm trying to get through this. Then I got to do Metroid Fusion, and then finally Metroid Dread. 7 weeks after it's released, I'll eventually get to Metroid Dread. But besides besides that, we'll end it on this singer. So I don't know if you guys can see this picture on here, Dalen, but Nerf has made a limited LMTD, so limited, not spelled all the way through, Halo Needler. It's available for pre-order for $100. It has 10 darts that will light up when you shoot them and go dark after hitting their target to mimic the needles from the games. I love the Needler, dude, from Halo. It's one of my favorite weapons. I like how you just deplete that ammo pretty much immediately, so that's unfortunate. But it's a little spray of pink, so I feel like it's $100. I'm not sure how much Nerf guns are, but it seems cool, I guess. I hope I can find it on the cheap or something at some point. But
concerned that little kids are going to try and swallow those little darts.
Wow, dude. I think that's just been a general concern with Nerf for a very, very long time. I think that's kind of new. That might be the case.
But now they're glowing. Now they're glowing.
What do you think, Dalen? Would you grab this? Would you grab this little Needler? It's only $100.
I would grab it just for the nostalgia and just to have. I would just hang it on my wall. I'd go buy the limited edition like Halo sword because they were selling that for a while and put it right next to that.
They're selling that little sword as bling. Actually, I think it's like $100 and you get the little sword bling. So I don't know if it's silver or gold or something like that, but it's a little, little sword. You gotta get that W in there. Luis, what's up with this, man? You gonna grab this so we can mess with it or what?
As someone who's never played a Halo game, no.
All of a sudden, here we go again.
He said, "No, it's stupid. Again. I'm not doing it."
I don't have the nostalgia for it or nothing, and it's $100, so this is some nonsense. All right, well, that's the show for this week. Salient Points number 44. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host of this here fine program, Carlos Macias. Dalen, as per occasionally per usual, from up in the mountains, Dalen Kirkwood. But I can't say per usual, Dalen. I can't say per usual, unfortunately.
Hey, man,
and I want to.
You can dance if you want to. That's all it matters.
Damn. Thank you for joining us from up in the mountains, Dalen, and from DTLA, of course, as per usual. Luis Mendez on the Wheels of Steel. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Peace out, y'all.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. All right, latest.